Yeah, good evening, everyone. Johnny Camps, let's start off. So last thing that we are doing was a scalar dot product. Great. The next thing is vector cross product. This, right, we will not be seeing much in the starting 4 or 5 chapters, but then comes a lot. So what is this vector cross product? Others, do keep your cams on. Yeah, there was a correction. I wrote something wrong on page 84. Vidul reminded. This I wrote wrong. No one told me also. Yeah, that was the answer. I wrote cos and sine reverse. So great. So what is this vector cross product? Same thing. If you remember the dot product, right? The same way people have realized there are a lot of quantities, especially, the pseudo vectors. These things are having a weird direction. Certain vector quantities depend on two vectors and sine of the angle between them. Example, especially, whenever quantities related to rotation are the main things actually. So we can write that. So especially quantities related to rotation. Example, if you take torque, this is given by R into F into sine theta, which is force into distance. More about this we'll study in rotation in more detail, but for now this much is sufficient. Example, another thing, if you take magnetic force, which is given by Q VB sine theta. Q is charge, V is velocity, B is called magnetic field. So people said, yeah, these kind of quantities are popping up multiple places. So they said, okay, let's define something for them. So mod A, mod B, sine theta, Now remember, this quantity is also a vector quantity. In case of scalar dot product, if you remember, the final quantity was a scalar product. That was a scalar thing. So there was no direction there. Sine theta n cap, we write this thing as A cross B. It is always the reverse way. The textbook says A cross B is mod B sine theta, whereas in reality, we have made A B sine theta as A cross B. So we can write A cross B as the magnitude of A, magnitude of B sine theta. So what is this n cap exactly? This n cap is a unit vector. Perpendicular to the plane of A and B. Basically, it's a pseudo vector. If you remember, that's what we discussed in the beginning. What does pseudo vector give you? It gives you the sense of rotation. Instead of defining infinite directions, we can define the whole direction with one vector. This is a unit vector perpendicular to plane of A bar and B bar. Basically, this is a pseudo vector. It's not the actual direction. So that means RF sine theta becomes R bar cross F bar. QAB cross B becomes QV bar cross B bar. So these quantities just keep up popping up. Have a look at this. So I hope you're getting it. AB, A cross B is not AB sine theta. Because you observed a lot of times AB sine theta is popping up, and that thing is a vector. You said, let's start calling it A cross B, a vector cross product. In science, right, you define certain quantities the way they are so that it is more convenient. Pseudo vector is the best example. If you don't use pseudo vector, you have to define infinite directions. But with a pseudo vector, even though it is not right, it's quite convenient. One direction just defines you the direction. So what is the direction exactly? When you say A cross B, the meaning is if you have a vector A bar and if you have a vector B bar, A cross B, this implies rotate A bar towards B bar and use right hand rule for the direction. This we discussed in detail in pseudo vector. That is in page 67. So if your vector A bar rotates towards B bar, you're getting how it is. So this vector A cross B will be out of plane. I hope you're getting this. So when A rotates towards B, you're getting it. The vector will go towards this. What is B cross A then? If you say B cross A, rotate B towards A. That is how you get the direction here. Basically, it is like rotating a screw. So when you rotate the screw, which way will the screw come out? This is A bar. This is B bar. So if you rotate B this way, this is B cross A. Please have a look at the directions. We'll not be using this at least till circular motion, but next 4 chapters this won't pop up much. But you should have an idea. So basically the curl of the fingers gives rotation and the thumb gives the direction. It's a pseudo vector. So when you make a fist, the finger ka rotation tells you the rotation and the thumb will tell you the direction. That means whereas in reality, even though the body is going in the XY plane, you're saying the direction is Z axis. which is not true. It's just a orientation. In page 67, we have done this in detail, pseudo vector. You can refer that. Clear? Everyone got the directions? Any doubts on this? Archana, Sanya, clear with this? Tanish, everyone adjust your cams. Make sure your faces are completely visible on the screen. Next thing. So if you take I cross I, that is nothing but mod I sine 0. So this is 0. So if you do cross product of like vectors, j cross j or k cross k, you're going to get 0. If you do I cross j, the perpendicular vectors, this turns out to be k cap. So if you x rotates towards y, you get z axis. If y rotates towards z, you get x axis. If z rotates towards x, you get y axis. So basically, this is how the rotation goes. I, j, k. So I goes towards j, you get k. J towards k, you'll get I. K cross I, you'll get this thing. So this is the positive rotation, clockwise. But if you rotate in the reverse direction, I, j, and k, this is a negative rotation. That means j cross I will give you minus k. I cross k will give you minus j. K cross j will give you minus I. Have a look at this. And certain properties. If you remember, A dot B is B dot A, but here not it is. It is A cross B is minus B cross A. We can clearly see here. A cross B is up, B cross A is down. Both are anti-parallel vectors, so you'll get a minus sign. A cross B plus C is A cross B plus A cross C. If you have A cross B cross C, this will not come in physics anywhere, but maximum they'll teach you this again. So A dot C, that's a dot product into B bar, minus B dot C into A bar. Triple vector cross product. Have a look at this page. Clear? Any doubts on this? So what is the physical significance of this? Any doubts on this page? Brijesh, Tanish? Clear? Soham, Shashwat? Arush? Ridal? Clear? Great. So the physical significance. If you take a parallelogram, A bar, B bar, this is theta, this is B sine theta. So area of the parallelogram is given by base into height. So this would be A into B into sine theta. So this can be written as magnitude of A cross B. So the vector cross product magnitude gives you the area of a parallelogram. Similarly, if you take half of this thing, you'll get area of a triangle. So you can divide the parallelogram into two pieces. So each triangle area is half. So that is the main physical significance. If you remember, the dot product was giving you the component of one vector in another direction. So this thing gives you the area. Do have a look at this. Clear? Easy stuff. Next thing. So how do you find a vector cross product? You don't know how to make a 3 into 3 determinant? Let me teach you. But you must be knowing it. Fir bhi. So if you have a vector AXI cap, AYJ cap, AZK cap, and if you have B bar, BXI cap, BYJ cap, BZK cap. So if you literally actually do cross product, right, you'll get the answer, but it'll be quite lengthy actually. And there's a high chance you might goof up something. How do you multiply? You multiply this into this 0. I cross J is K. I cross K is minus J. Then you do J cross I, J cross J, J cross K. K cross I, K cross J, K cross A. So total 9 terms will come. In that 3 terms will be 0 and 6 terms will come. So what we do for this, we write A cross B like this. This is called a 3 into 3 determinant. So in the first line, you'll have ijk. Second line, you'll have ax, ay, az, the coefficients of ijk. The third line, so if you have b in the second, then b will come in the last. So how to solve this? First, let's go start with something simple. If you have a 2 into 2 determinant, this is a 2 into 2 determinant. This is called 2 into 2 matrix or determinant. So the value of this, now let's not get into how we got this, what is this and all, max people will teach you. This is how we calculate this thing. So a into d and then b into c. So it is pretty straightforward. So you have to do the diagonals on AD minus BC. You get it? So if I give a 2 into 2 determinant, this is the value of this. Meaning if you write a box like this, it implies the value is AD minus BC. Let's not get into the physical significance of this. Now, if you have 3 into 3 determinant, this is how we play with this. So example, if you say 1, 2, 3, 4, I'll write 1 into 4 minus 2 into 3. That is 4 minus 6 minus 2. Clear? 2 into 2. Now, how do you solve 3 into 3? Let's say if you have 3 into 3, A, B, C. Let me take some random numbers there. I, J, K only better. This is what you do. Step 1, put plus, minus, plus. That's your step 1. Put signs, on top of IJK. Step 2, when you take the first line, or you can say the first column, right, and first row. This is how we do that. So when you take plus here, first row, cut off this and cut off this. What is left? A 2 into 2 determinant, isn't it? So then we take these two and these two. So we write this thing as I into, because you're starting from I, that 2 plus actually, into AY into BZ minus AZ into BY. Getting it? So that will be your first term I, because you're cutting off I. Step 3, you can say choose or cross off, meaning whatever you want to use. Basically cross second row, first row and second column. Now remember, there's a minus on the top, so cut off this and cut off this. Again, you got a 2 into 2. Basically, the idea is every time you cut off one line and one row, you'll get a 2 into 2 matrix. These two and these two. And remember, you're starting with minus j, because the top is minus j. So every time the sign becomes alternate. Why? We don't care. Max people will teach you. So let's focus on this. So ax into bz minus az into bx. Matrix is one of the chapter that I hated a lot in max. But physics ke liye itna kafi hai. That will give you the second term j component. Step 4, cross first row. So you'll always keep crossing the first row and third column. There are actually multiple ways to do this, but let's just keep it simple. Third column. You have a full chapter on this. Remember, there's a plus on top of k. You cut off this and cut off this. These two, these two. So this will give you k cap into ax by minus ay bx. So now if they ask you what is this determinant 3 into 3, this answer is ay bz minus az by I cap minus ax bz minus az bx j cap plus ax by minus ay bx j cap. So the answer for this determinant is this. So if someone asks you what is the answer for this is what you get. And this is how you solve. Please have a look at the steps. We will do 1 or 2 problems to get the hang of it. If you got this, cross product khatam ho gaya. Kuch hai hi nahi concept matlab. You should just know how to do 3 into 3 det. If you know that there is nothing in the cross product. Unlike, vector dot scalar dot product, there's really not much. Please have a look at this. Anyone not convinced with that, let's do 1 or 2 problems on this. So you'll get a better practice of it, but just try to have an understanding of what we're doing. So you have to choose I. When you choose I, cut off these two. When you choose J, cut off these two. When you choose K, cut off these two. So you cut off the horizontal and the vertical line from whichever point you choose. And then automatically you'll get a 2 into 2 matrix. 2 into 2, you know how to solve. So if you're cutting I, put I cap. If you're cutting J, it's the second term, so minus I cap. Third term is again plus. So if it had been a 4 into 4 matrix now, let's say I, J, K, L, let's say A1, A2, A3, A4, then it will be plus, minus, plus, minus. Then you would have cut this and this, then you'll get a 3 into 3 matrix. Again, isko cut karke, this will cut, we'll get a 2 into 2 matrix, we solve. It will be quite lengthy actually. Matrices are quite useful when you're studying, things at a higher dimensions. Anyone, any doubts on this? Let's see some examples. You guys try this thing and tell me what is the answer. Let's say I, J, K, 2, -3, 1, -1, 3, 4. What is the answer for this? Every time you don't have IJK, you can have any numbers also. So in place of I, you'll replace with 1. In place of J, you'll replace with -2. In place of K, you'll replace 3 and do it. Let's get this. Try. I'll give you a minute for both. Got an answer? Type in the chat box. I hope everyone has given the test. Today night is a deadline, so do make sure to give it. I'll be posting the results tomorrow and we can discuss the paper on Wednesday. And this current week test will be full vectors, everything, including the vector cross product. I hope everyone is registered. In case, new students who don't have access, please ping me. I'll give you access. Answers. Try. You got a minute. Okay, first one. This is how you start. Let this be plus, minus, plus. The first one is I. Cut off this. You can do this, visualizing. You can visualize that. So if you can cut off this, then this into this. So that is -3 into 4, -12. Then again -3, minus j. Then cut off these two. Then 4 2s are 8, and 8 of +1, that will be 9. Minus of -1, 1. I'm trying to write everything. Cut off that, then it will be 2 into 3, 6. I'll just write this thing, 2 of -1. Minus of minus, that is -3. So -15i minus 9j plus 3k. Yeah, please check where you guys messed up. If you got this, great. In case you messed up, please check where you went up wrong. Right, Shashwat, you got it. Archana, check out that K-cap. Devan, she also messed up the K-cap. So when you cut K-cap, it is 3 into 2, 6. Minus of -1, -3. That becomes actually -3 only. There are 3 minus signs. Minus into -1, -3. So total there are 3 minus signs, you'll get -3 only. So that will not be 6 plus 3, it will be 6 minus 3. Yeah. Let's get the second one also. Second one is just all numbers. So ij क्या place में 1 2 3 आएगा. So you need not always have vectors only. You can just have numbers also. Three I 5k. Is it for the second one? Second one में I cap J cap है ही नहीं रहे. We have one answer. Anyone else? I'm not sure whether that is the answer. Okay, we have -28, we have -33. One of you is wrong. We have 1 minus 36. Their house he started. 8. Chalo, 4 different answers. Minus 28, minus 33, minus 36, 8. Others, you should type your answers. 18. Chalo, let's see. मैं करता. So 1, if you do cross product, minus 2 is 4, minus 1, minus 2. Remember, this will be plus, minus, plus. That will be minus 2. If you cross this, minus 2, that is again 2, minus, plus 3, plus 3, that is minus 1, minus 6. This is 3, minus, that is 5, 2, minus 10. This is minus 21. So that's minus 31, minus 28. We have minus 28. Oh, you got it right. Others, check it out. Yeah. See where you messed up the minus sign. You confused, please ask me. I'll help you out. You got it? Great. You didn't understand any particular term, the first term, the second term, or third term, please ask me. If you're getting confused with that multiplication of minus and all. Yeah, right, Sashwat. Yeah. Do check it out. All got this? Anyone confused? Anyone not clear with anything? Clear, na? Sanya, got this? Soham, Devansh, Arush, Mridul, all got right? Archana, Devika, got this? Kaushambi, clear, na? Let's see a question now. That's it. If you understood this thing, vector cross product main thing is done. So question will be framed like this. We have a vector a bar, which is 2i minus j 3k. B bar is I plus 3j minus 2k. So this is how they can ask the question. Find, first thing, a cross b, straightforward. Second, area of the parallelogram. Best part is your multiple questions, but all of them the answer is same, something of that sort. Area of the parallelogram formed by a bar and b bar. Third, area of the triangle formed by a bar and b bar. Find a cross a minus 2b bar. Xa bar plus yb bar dot a cross b bar. X and y are constants. Find a vector of magnitude. This is the dot product. Find a vector of magnitude 10 perpendicular to a bar and b bar. There. Let's go. Even that looks like 6 questions, right? If you do the first one, that is the answer for most of them. Let's find the first one, a cross b. Try. Got 2 minutes for the first 4 questions. Mm, we have one answer. Minus 7i plus 7j plus 7k. Anyone else got that? So if you do A cross B here, I cap, J cap, K cap. A bar will be 2 minus 1, 3. B bar का coefficients are 1, 3, minus 2. Plus, minus, plus. So this will be I cap into, that is 2 minus 9 minus j into this is gone minus 4 minus 3 k cap into 3 to 6 plus 1 minus 7i plus 7j plus 7k. Have a look at this. Yeah. What is the second thing? Area of the parallelogram. Area of parallelogram, nothing but mod of A cross B. So root over 7 square, 7 square, 7 square. 7 root 3. That's what I said. If you got the first one, all things will come in a line. What is area of a triangle? Half of A cross B. That is 7 by 2 root 3. Please check the first three. Any doubts on this? Anyone? That's what I said. If you know how to do 3 into the determinant, there's nothing in the question. Anyone not clear with these steps, please ask me. Clear, everyone? Devika? Kaushambi, clear, na? Tanish? Okay, let's try DEF. Try, you got another 2 minutes. Try. Give it a try, everyone. Just give it a try. I'll get some water and come. Let's see. See now, that third, the fourth one, it looks actually a trap. There's no need to solve the whole thing. So I was asking you A cross A minus 2B. So what I can do, I can expand this. So this will become A cross A minus 2 times A cross B. But what is A cross A? 0. Like vectors, no? A cross A is 0 because the vectors are parallel. These are parallel vectors. Theta is 0, therefore A cross A is 0. So indirectly I'm asking you 2 times A cross B. And what is A cross B? Already calculated. 7i, 7j, 7k. Easy. So there is no need to solve 2a minus 2b and then again try to, do all the dot product. You can just simplify from here. What about E? E is also interesting. So E is given as xa bar plus yb bar dot a cross b bar. So this is x a bar dot a cross b plus y b bar dot a cross b. Now, if you go back to the basic, the derivation, meaning the way we defined it, this is a cross b. Did you notice something? A cross b is perpendicular to both a bar and b bar. Actually, a cross b is perpendicular to any vector in the plane of a bar and b bar. Meaning you choose any vector like this. This is xa bar plus yb bar. Even that would be perpendicular. And we know if two vectors are perpendicular, dot product is 0. So this answer is 0. Easy. This is 0. This is also 0. A is perpendicular to a cross b. B is also perpendicular to a cross b. Making sense, everyone? That's what I said. If you solve the first question, you'll get all of them. What about the last thing? You want a vector of magnitude 10 perpendicular to a cross b. So indirectly, I'm asking you 10 times a cross b ka unit vector. Plus or minus. Isn't it? You want a vector perpendicular to both a and b bar. So a cross b is perpendicular to both a bar and b bar. So you want a magnitude. So we need a unit vector along a cross b with a magnitude 10. Along a cross b and multiply that with 10 because you want magnitude 10. So you know the answer. Plus or minus, it can be up or it can be down. And a cross b is 7i and that thing. So if you do the cross product, you end up with minus I plus j plus k by root 3. Please check your answers. Clear? There. So I'm asking you a cross b, but I can ask you in different ways. Every time it won't be a cross b directly. Any doubts? Anyone not convinced with A, B, C, D, F? Any one part, please ask me. Soham, Pushkal, clear with us? Brijesh, Arush? Clear, na? Archana? Sania? Tanish? Great. So that is about vector cross product, a straightforward one. Can I turn the page? There's a third type. It's called box product. So box product is nothing but this is how we represent it: A bar, B bar, C bar in a box. We will see why we call it a box. So this can be written as A cross B. So it's a vector cross product dot a scalar product. You have combination of both. This can be written as B cross C dot A, or you can write this thing as C cross C. All are same. So let's see what is the physical significance of this. Consider vectors A bar, B bar, C bar. If you remember, two vectors form a parallelogram, three vectors form a parallelepiped. It's a three-dimensional thing. Forming a parallelepiped. It is like square is two-dimensional, cube is three-dimensional, rectangle is two-dimensional, cuboid is three-dimensional, parallelogram is two-dimensional, parallelepiped is three-dimensional. So this is how it would look. So if you have a bar, B bar, this is also B bar, this is also C bar, B bar. Then you draw C bar like this, four C bars. Then you join them again with another A bar and B bar. So there we have three vectors, A bar, B bar, and C bar forming a parallelepiped. So it's a three-dimensional parallelogram. If you look at this, this is your base. The base is formed by A and B bar. So what you get here is volume. So volume is given by base area into height. If you notice something, the dot product gave you component of a vector, means you got a line. The vector cross product gave you area. Box product gives you volume. Can you see how it is going? One dimensional, two dimensional, three dimensional. So how does this give you an area? So I'll show it in the next page. So this is A bar, this is B bar. So perpendicular to them, this guy is A cross B. This is C bar and this is alpha. This would be C cos alpha. Alpha is angle between A cross B and C bar. The proof is really not that important, but I'd like to show you that. So here, height of this parallelepiped is C cos alpha. Therefore, volume is the base area, which is mod A cross B, that's your base area, into height C cos alpha. So you can treat A cross B as one vector. The C cos alpha is another thing. So this becomes A bar cross B bar dot C bar. Making sense how we got the volume? If you treat A bar cross B bar is one vector, let's call it some D bar. What is DC cos alpha? Isn't it C bar dot D bar? But what is D bar? A cross B. Are you getting this? So instead of writing like this every time, we like to write this thing as box ABC. So when someone writes a symbol like this box ABC, indirectly is telling you it is A cross B dot C. The reason why I call it a box is because it forms a three-dimensional thing. Have a look at this. This thing is called the box product. Everyone clear with this? No. So that is one thing. So the box product gives you the volume. So tell me one thing. So there are the three things. We can just put it down. So box product A, B, C is nothing but A cross B dot C. So this is nothing but, how to solve this? Actually, again, there's no need to solve A, B, C and everything. You can do it in a much faster way. You could actually call this also A dot B cross C. Anything will work. All are right. The dot product, you can move it anywhere. This is nothing but AX, AY, AZ, BX, BY, BZ, CX, CY, CZ. You can write this also as A cross B dot C. The answer is same because the end of the day is volume, right? Doesn't matter what you take, the volume will come same. So box product gives you the volume. This gives the volume of the parallelepiped. Second, what if the volume is zero? If the box product is zero, what does this imply? This implies we have zero volume. That means you didn't get a box. A, B, C are in the same plane. If three vectors are in the same plane, we call them coplanar vectors. For example, I cap, J cap, K cap are not coplanar. They're in the three different planes. So this is a condition for coplanarity. Example, you know how they'll frame this question? They won't ask you like this directly. They will say there is a mirror. We have done this last class. This is your incident ray vector. This is your reflected ray vector. This is your normal vector. Do you remember when you studied principle of reflection, there's a statement, incident ray, reflected ray, and the normal are in the same plane and on the same side of the mirror. They're in the same plane. That means if you take the box product of the incident ray, reflected ray, and the normal vector is zero. Since, incident ray, reflected ray, and normal are in the same plane. They'll ask you like this: what is the relation between I cap, R cap, N cap? This is another relation. Have a look at this. Yeah. Any doubts on this? I hope you're getting the physical significance of box product. Let's see a question on this. We have three vectors, 3i minus 2j plus k. They'll ask you like this: find box product which is a cross b dot. Say you can do a cross b, then do dot product, or you can directly use the det what I teach you, taught you. Or they'll ask you find volume of the parallelepiped. Technically, both are same. Or they'll ask you, are these vectors coplanar? So if you just do the first one, you get the answer for everything. So this is a condition for coplanarity. If they give you three vectors and they ask you whether these are in the same plane, use a box product. That is the fastest way. Have a look at this. Finish off. $15. Let's see. The box product 3 minus 2, 1, 1, 1 minus 2, 4 minus 1, 2. This is your box product. So this is 3 into 2 minus 2, that is 1, minus of minus 2 into 2 plus 8, 10, plus 1 into minus 1 minus 4 minus 5. I hope I am right. 3 plus 20 minus 5, 18. 2 minus 2. Which part did I mess up? अरे there are no vectors रे शाश्वत. It's a scalar. IJ cap कहाँ से लेके आया तूने? First one I messed up. So 2 ones are 2 minus of, okay, that's minus 2. 2 minus 2, that's 0. Yeah, you're right. 15. So the box product is 15. Volume is 50. Answer is no, since it is not 0. That's it. Meaning you do the first one, you get the answer for is everything. All clear with this? That's your box product. With that, we're done with the vectors. Like I said, the vector cross product is quite small, unlike scalar dot product. Any doubts on this? And others need to keep your cams on, or else you'll be removed from the classroom. Great. Clear, everyone? That's your vectors. So make sure to go through this. We did almost 31 problems on vectors. The next chapter will be calculus, the physics. Again, we're not a max class. Max people will teach you this for almost 2.5, 3 months. But the problem is they'll teach you this in 12th. So let's see. So in vectors, right, it's quite important for us, if you're planning for advance, without vectors, you're not going to go ahead. Literally, advanced, if you see, right, most of the questions are based on calculus. You should be quite comfortable with, using calculus. So one thing in physics, the issue is calculus is actually not tough. The headache is converting a problem into calculus is the headache part. So which we will see later on. So maybe in the first 1 or 2 classes will be just, the basics, but the applications will be quite solid. So we will see all that stuff. Today also we'll try to see few. Right. So you'll get the actual meaning of it. No one is going to ask you the direct max part as such. It will be a part of the problem. So let's start it off. So in this, there are 2 parts. One is your differentiation and one is your integration. Right. So first we will deal with differentiation and then we will see with the integration. But it's quite important. Every chapter from kinematics, you will start encountering calculus, meaning it's a part of every chapter in physics. By the time they teach you in maths, it will be almost in 1.5 years. So you can't wait till then. So we will do it. So the first thing, before jumping into the differentiation, we need to define something more basic called a function. Let's keep it very simple. We'll not do pretty detailed like max. So when you say y is equal to f of x, this is how you pronounce this. Y is equal to f of x. The meaning of this is, so there is a function. So this x is your input and y is your output. So this f of thing, think of it like a kind of a machine. You put some input, you get an output. Example, if you say y is f of x, what it simply means is the quantity called y depends on x. That's the main meaning of this. Quantity y depends on x. So if I say y is equal to f of x is equal to x cube, if I say y is equal to f of z, means y depends on z. If I say y is equal to f of t, means it depends on some constant called t or time. It can be anything. Anything can depend on anything. So f of x cube, example, so if I say f of 1, means you're putting x is equal to 1. So that is 1. If I say f of 3, so that is 3 cube, that is 27 and so on. If you take another example, f of x is x square. Let's say g of x is 2x plus 1. Meaning you can have a function inside a function. So for example, if you write g of 1, it is 2 into 1 plus 1, which is 3. Let's say f of 2 is 2 square is 4. If you write like this, f of g of 1. What is the meaning of this? So you have a function called f. Inside that, you kept one more function called g of 1. Just to give a simple example, so think of like this. There is a person A here, right? And there's a person B here. So you are there and I'm there. Think like this. Every time I slap you, you give me 2 chocolates. So the number of chocolates I get is a function of number of times I slap you. So if I slap you once, I get 2 chocolates. If I slap you twice, I get 4 chocolates. So the number of chocolates, if I call that a y, is 2 times the number of slaps. Let's say y is equal to 2x. Now, let's say like this thing. Getting it? Let's say A slaps B, right? He gives 2 chocolates to C. and C slaps 4 times to D. Matlab, it is double. So every time I slap you once, you give 2 chocolates to the other guy, and that guy will slap 4 times to the other guy. For every 1 chocolate, he'll slap twice. Did you see the function? So every time A slaps once, B will give 2 chocolates, C will get 2 chocolates, and he will slap 4 times. So indirectly, the number of slaps D will get will depend on how many chocolates A is giving, isn't it? This is a function depending on another function. To put it in more technical terms, I'll show you. So this is f of g of 1 is how much? 3. So he's asking f of 3, which is 3 square, which is 9. That's it. You don't need to know more than this. Just understand max physics may how the things will come like this. Example, they'll say like this, v of t, meaning it's a velocity as function of time. So when you see some symbol like this, don't get scared and don't think like, what the hell is this? The meaning of this is the quantity called velocity is depending as a function of time. Similarly, if I say a of x, this means a is acceleration, x is position. Acceleration is a function of, or it depends as a function of x. That is, a depends on x. So in physics, we're going to see a lot of quantities like this. Best example, what is volume of a sphere? 4 by 3 pi r cube. That is actually not the right way to say. The right way to say is the volume of the sphere as function of radius is 4 by 3 pi r cube. That is actually the full name. Volume of the sphere as function of radius. But we automatically assume radius is the variable. You're getting it? S of t is ut plus half at square. Did you remember this? You studied in kinematics. So what is this actually? This is the displacement as function of time. We simply write s is equal to ut plus half at square. But in reality, you're supposed to write s of t. We think it's obvious. You're getting this? So it is like this, for example, my name is Arun Kumar Sana, but people just call me Arun. Like, just imagine every time someone starts calling on the road, Arun Kumar Sana, what are you doing? Like, yeah, just call Arun, na? So the same way, every time who will say the volume of the sphere as function of radius is 4 by 3 pi r cube. Doesn't it look like too long? So we simply say volume is 4 by 3 pi r cube and done. But the full name of volume is volume as a function of radius r. So just that's it. I just wanted to have that understanding that a quantity can depend on any other quantity, and this is how we represent them: v of t, a of x, v of r. That understanding you should have. Have a look at this. Clear? Don't need to write the notes. I'll send you the PDF. So just focus on listening and understanding. All clear with the function part. So whenever you see these kind of terms next, don't get scared. V of t simply means velocity is depending on time. Any doubts on this page or this page, please ask me. Clear? Next thing. Now, what is this differentiation? Thing is, consider points A, which is x1, y1, and point B, x2, y2. If you draw a line, and if you try to join them, we know the horizontal distance is x2 minus x1. Let's call this delta x, change in x coordinate. The y coordinate change in height is y2 minus y1. We call it delta y. And this angle is theta. And in school, you studied this. This is how we define something as slope of the line. Slope of the line AB is nothing but tan theta, which is nothing but the opposite side, which is delta y by delta x. Studied this in school, which is nothing but y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. So remember this, theta is the angle made by the line with the positive x-axis. In case you have a little idea about slope, so suppose someone gives you a line like this. So this angle you should take. So here the slope is tan 120. Let's say this is 30, here slope is tan 30. It need not pass through origin every time. So this is the main thing. So slope of a line is delta y by delta x. This is for a straight line. Clear with this? This we studied in school. I hope you studied this in school. That is when the problem started. Now the issue is every time you won't get a line in real life. For example, when you're going on a vehicle, let's say you're going from your school to your house. Do you think when you're going on the road, your vehicle is just going with a constant speed? Your vehicle doesn't go with a constant speed, right? It just keeps on going with different speeds. So how do you study something like that? So this is where people found out, because we realize in physics quantities are not constant. This is the sad part is, other than for constants, I don't know what to do for a line. So now consider a curve. So you have some random curve like this. Getting it? Let's choose the 2 points again here, A and B. So now if I write these points as x comma y, and this point is x plus delta x and y plus delta y, where delta x is a change in x and this thing. Now if I try to use the formula which we showed in the last page, the slope of the line, that is delta y by delta x. Tell me one thing, does this has any meaning with this? This has no relation to the slope. You just took randomly 2 points on the curve and you've used that formula of the straight line. This is useless. This is of no use. This is useless data here. So delta x is nothing but the change in x coordinates. Delta y is the change in y coordinates. Are you getting this logic there? I know how to find slope for a line. Now you brought a curve and you asked me, let's try to use the slope. You took two random points, A, B, and you found the slope. Meaning, what are you doing exactly? This is completely useless. Agreed with this? Now, what if I made the delta x smaller? Delta x is what? Distance between them. This is your delta x, the horizontal distance. If you make delta x smaller, you will notice this is the curve. You got 2 points now, A and B. Fine, they're a little closer, but still of no use. Still doesn't make sense. If you use the formula slope delta y by delta x, this still doesn't make any sense. But if you make delta x tending to 0. This is how we pronounce this. We pronounce this thing as delta x, delta meaning change, delta x tending to 0. Means you're making the distance between A and B so small that A and B keeps getting closer and closer. A and B become almost the same point. Means if you keep getting A and B closer and closer and closer, they'll become the same point, and then suddenly this line AB becomes a tangent to the curve. That means this curve here, which you have taken some random curve, you have brought A and B literally so close. And when you try to join them, that line AB actually becomes a tangent. So this line AB is a tangent. Are you getting what we're trying to do? Here, is line AB anything here? Line AB is nothing here, useless, isn't it? Line AB is useless here, but suddenly line AB has some relation to the curve, isn't it? Is this making sense, everyone? By making it smaller and smaller and smaller, suddenly the line AB started making sense. Is this clear, everyone? Please try to understand what is happening here. You know the formula for a line. Now you're trying to use this on a curve. Getting it? Now the problem is when you try to use this formula on a curve, it doesn't work. You get some invalid data. It's of no use. You randomly took 2 points and you said, I'm going to draw a slope of this thing. What does this line here has to do anything with the curve? You simply took 2 points. There's no information. But if you bring them closer and closer and closer at one point, when the delta x becomes almost 0, matlab A and B literally are touching, suddenly that line AB becomes a tangent. Is this clear, everyone? Then, so we write this thing like this. So we write limit delta x tending to 0, delta y by delta x is slope of the tangent to the curve. Let me explain you this. Understand one thing. If you just write this delta y by delta x, this is the slope of line AB. This is useless. This is of no use. This is useless. This doesn't make any sense. You're getting it? The important thing is putting this word limit. If you don't keep this, the whole thing doesn't make sense. You're getting it? So, but every time who will write this thing? Limit delta y by delta x is slope and all. So what people said, let's keep it simple. The slope of the tangent. You will learn in maths. There is something called limits. They'll teach you almost for 2-3 weeks. Limit delta y by delta x. Let's write this thing as dy by dx. So the moment you see the word dy by dx, it is understood. You're talking about a very small change in x. So this quantity dy by dx. So simply, what is delta? Delta means change. What is d? D means very small change. Bas itna hi difference tha. Technically, both mean the same thing. For example, if you say delta x, I will assume maybe it is 0.1, 0.3, something like this. If you say dx, I will assume it is 0. Something quite small, 10, 15 decimals. You getting the difference? Delta means change. D also means change, but it is a very, very small change. So this quantity here, d by dx, in case this thing is going little over the head, don't worry about it. Right? What is most important is, the results which we're going to use later on. I'm just trying to make a little sense of you what is dy by dx. Getting it? So You can do all the problems without this thing, but that is not how you learn. At least have a small sense like, okay, what does it actually mean? Without that, if you just start solving the numbers, right, you will get answers, but doesn't make sense. This is called a differential operator. Remember, don't cancel this d and d. Don't cancel the d and d. They're not some digits. D by dx, the whole thing is one term. It's called a differential operator. Just like, plus is an operator, what does it do? It adds two numbers. Minus is an operator, what does it do? Subtracts two numbers. Multiplication is an operator, what does it do? Multiplies. So same way, d by dx is an also operator. What it does, it compares a quantity with respect to x. Any quantity that you differentiate with x, you are comparing with x. So d by dx, don't cancel that d. Have a look at this. Let me show you some examples on this. Any doubts so far? Anyone not clear with what happened? Again, if I brief up the whole thing, I know how to find slope of a line. I don't know how to find the slope for a tangent. So if I take 2 points A and B at a distance, I can use slope of the line. You're getting the point? The only thing that I know is slope of the line. Somehow I have to use that only to figure out the slope of a tangent. So if you keep them too far, it doesn't make sense. You bring them closer, still doesn't make sense. But if you make the delta extending to 0, that means if you bring them so close, literally touching each other, that line AB becomes a tangent. So the limit delta extends to 0. The word implies you're bringing the 2 points very close. Then if you try to find the slope, that will be the slope of a tangent to the curve. Clear with that? Any doubts on this? Now, if I give some examples, the differential operator, if I say dx by dt, here x is position. So you're comparing position by time. What is position by time? Velocity. So every time it need not be y and x, you can compare any one with any quantity. Suppose if you have dv by dt. So t is time, v is velocity. So you're comparing velocity with time. So this gives you acceleration. You can have d capital D by dx. T is temperature. So you can even compare temperature also. You can compare temperature with position. There's a name for this. We call it temperature gradient. So don't think always it will be y and x or anything. You can compare any quantity with any other quantity. So I was trying to explain you what is the differentiation using slope, but you can actually relate this to any other property. Tanish, clear with this? All clear with this? Any doubts? Brijesh, Devika, Pushkal, Tanya, Sanya, clear with this? Tanish, Archana? Great. Now let's go ahead. So if you write a quantity d by d of x into f of x, means you're differentiating a function called f of x, right? So basically y is f of x. So y depends on x. So if you write any quantity d by dx of y, this is just a representation. Again, like I said, we are lazy people, physics people are like, so who will write such a big term every time? So we'll put f dash x. So if you put a dash on the top, it means it's the first differential. Suppose if you have d by dx of you can differentiate a function 2 times also. So basically this is written as d square by dx square f of x. This is how we represent this. Again, we are lazy people, we'll put 2 dashes on the top. 2 dash on the top implies this is the second differential. We can also write this thing as dn by dx power n f of x. So we simply write this thing as fnx. This is an nth differential, meaning you differentiate the quantity n times. What it means, multiple differentiations, let's not get into that right now. We will see later on when we see some applications. Clear with this? So this is a basic understanding of what is differentiation. So the only thing you need to think of is, think of that slope ka thing. You can't find the slope of a tangent on a curve, but using differentiation dy by dx, you can find the slope of a tangent. What you did was literally you took your slope curve formula and you just made it for a very small dx and very small dy. Now in differentiation, there are three levels. One is a basic one is an identities, and one is called a chain rule. So first we'll do the basics. So if you know these three levels, your differentiation is easy. Matlab, you know how to use max. Physics is a different story. Just because you know differentiation doesn't mean physics problems you'll be able to solve. That we will be seeing. So this is the first level. So if I give you a function, and if I differentiate that function, now we will not get into how we got this. You need to mug it up. Max, when there is something called, I know, a first principle. They will teach you there how to actually get these values. So the first one, if you have a function which is a, which is constant, logically socho. If you differentiate a constant, means what? Does constant ever change? No. So therefore, if you differentiate a constant, it is always zero. Example, if I give you a number dy dx of something like 36, it is zero. Dy dx of pi is a constant, zero. Second thing, x power n. Everyone should note down these things, right? Put down on a paper. D by dx x power n. This is given by n into x power n minus 1. Example, if you give me d by dx of x square, so here if you see the formula n is 2, so 2 into x power 2 minus 1, which is 2x. I know some of you already know this stuff, but then it is fine. In case someone has no idea about this thing, please put it down. You need this. So n is 7 by 2 is 7 by 2 x to the power of 7 by 2 minus 1. 7 by 2 x power 5 by 2. Have a look at that. X power n is one of the most common differentiation. Matlab, literally every chapter you will see this x power n. Clear, everyone? Copied? Going ahead. If you have e power x, so differential of e power x is e power x only. E is nothing but a constant, just like a pi. So e is also a number 2.713. We call it exponential. Quite a common thing. After pi, this is one thing that comes a lot. Ln x, differential of ln x is 1 by x. Sin x, differential of sin x is cos x. Cos x, differential of cos x is, this is level 1. These 6 are level 1. Max they'll teach you more, but like I said, we are only doing things which are required for physics. Physics may generally, other than these 6 things, you will not see any other variations. They also have a power x. Max they'll teach you more nonsense things, a power x and all that stuff. Physics may kabhi bhi, you'll never see them. So in case by chance they're teaching you that, that is because your physics teacher didn't have enough content to give, so he took out max questions and is giving you. So ignore him. There's no problem. You will never see these things in max physics. By the time they really come, they'll teach you in actually max math. You can see them, but these are the 6 main ones. What we are more interested is applications. Clear? Let's see one or two applications. So you will actually understand how to use this. The formulas are easy though. X power n is the most important one. So let me give an example. We can do one question. You just do this pretty fast. So d by dx of x power 3 by 2. Get this? D by dx of root x. D by dx of 1 by root x. D by dx of 1 by x cubed. Yeah, let's get them. Remember x power n formula? So n is 3 by 2. 3 by 2 x power 3 by 2 minus 1. 3 by 2, that is x power half. N is half. Root x is n power half. So half into x power half minus 1. So 1 by 2 root x. Here n is minus half, meaning you can take it up. So this is d by dx of x power minus half. So n is minus half. The formula is n into x power n minus 1. So minus half into x power minus half, this thing minus 3 by 2. You can leave it like that. Here n is minus 3. Minus 3 x power minus 3 minus 1 minus 3 by x power 4. Check it out. Straightforward formula substitution. There's nothing there. Anyone not clear with this, please ask. That's the only formula I have. N into x power n minus 1. N is the power of that. So bring it in the form of x power something and then just use the formula. They won't ask you like this in the exam. But you should know how to do this thing. Any doubts on this page, please ask me. Tanish, clear with this? Arush, Ashmit, clear with this? Kaushan, be clear, na? Basic stuff, I'm sure you must have done this stuff in your classes, but still, we always have to go from the basics. So let me show an example. Debulina, clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hope I'm pronouncing your name right. How do you pronounce this?
It's actually my name is Archita. I forgot to change my name.
Archita. Chalega. I'll just call you Archita. Fine. No problems. Now, example. Let's say they'll ask a question like this. We have a curve. Y is equal to x cube. They'll ask a question like this. Find slope of the tangent at x is equal to 1. So if this point is your origin, this point is 1 comma 0, exactly on top of this, at this point, if you can draw a tangent, basically that will be a tangent at 1 comma 1, because that is x is equal to 1. And this is theta here. So the slope is nothing but tan theta. But we also know, just now we studied, the slope of a tangent is nothing but dy by dx. And it is given in the question, y is x cube. So this is nothing but 3 into x square. So what you're getting here is this is a slope of a tangent at a x coordinate. So for different values of x, you have different slopes. Meaning, think about it. It makes sense, isn't it? If you take a tangent here, this would have a different slope. If you take a tangent here, you have a different slope. But you want the slope at x is equal to 1. So therefore, the slope of tangent at x is equal to 1. So we already know the value 3x square, substitute 1. So that is 3 into 1 square, which is 3. So indirectly, I got tan theta is equal to 3. Please have a look at this. Isn't this what we are seeing from the beginning? The differentiation dy by dx gives you the slope of a tangent. So if I give an equation y is equal to x cube, a curve, and if I say find the slope of the tangent at 1 comma 1, so what you're indirectly telling me is differentiate this function, which I know already how to do for x power n, and then put x is equal to 1. That would give me the slope. This function here, 3x square, gives you the slope of a tangent at any x coordinate. If you put x is equal to 0, I'll get the slope at 0, origin here. If you put x is equal to 1, I'll get this slope. If you put x is equal to 2, I'll get this slope. So different points have different slopes. So if you have taken the curve like this is a tangent here, this is a tangent here, this is a tangent here, and so on. So there are multiple tangents. Clear with this? Have a look at this, understand this question properly. Because the next question is based on this, which you guys will do now. So if I give you any random curve, and if I ask you find the slope of the tangent or the angle made by the tangent, you need to differentiate the function, put that respective x coordinate, and that will give you the slope at that point. And we know slope is nothing but tan theta, so that actually gives you the angle. Is this making sense, everyone? Clear? Tanish? Clear? Soham? Pushkal? Devika? Now let's say a question. Arush, focus. How will they ask this question in the exam? We got a mirror here. This is a parabolic mirror. This point is your origin 0, 0. And this mirror ka equation is y is equal to x square. You send a light ray horizontally. This is a horizontal light ray. This light ray goes and hits the mirror at a point P, whose coordinates are x, y. I don't know the coordinates. After hitting this point P, the light ray becomes vertical. This is your incident horizontal ray. This is your reflected vertical ray. Now, this does not happen at any point, okay? If you send the light ray here, it'll go like this. If you send it here, it'll go like this. If you send it here, it'll come like this. That means there is one particular point on the mirror. Only if you hit at that point, you'll become vertical. The horizontal ray after hitting the mirror becomes vertical. Find the coordinates of point P. This is how they'll ask you. Think for 2 minutes. Then I'll show you one. Then I'll give you one more like this. I know it is a little difficult to figure out on the first try, but I taught you all the basics that you need to solve this problem. Is the question clear, everyone? Just give it a try. I'll be just back in a minute. Let's see. Sorry, there is an Amazon parcel. And no one is there in the house. Half, comma, 1. Okay, we have an answer. Let me help you with this. Listen carefully how I did this, how I do this, and I'll give you one more like this. So step 1, you're saying a light ray is coming hitting a mirror. Great. You learned this in school, the law of reflection. This would be a normal, agreed? And if you draw a tangent to this guy, this is the tangent to the point P. Does everyone agree on the diagram? And we know this angle is 45. This angle is also 45 because both are equal. I is equal to R. And total I plus R is 90 degrees. If this is 45 and this is 45, this is also 45. If that is 45, this is also 45. That means here the slope of the tangent is making an angle of 45 degrees with the horizontal. Tangent makes 45 degrees with the horizontal. If you see, all this is physics, law of reflection, you studied in school. Therefore, the slope of the tangent is tan 45. But we also know from calculus just now, slope is nothing but dy by dx. Tan 45 is 1. But dy by dx is nothing but y is equal to x square. Dy by dx is nothing but 2x. So 2x is equal to 1. So therefore, x is equal to half. If x is equal to half, y will be x square. So that is 1 by 4. Therefore, the coordinates of P are half, comma 1 by 4. Is this making sense, everyone? Again, what did I do? Listen, the light ray is coming horizontally and hitting vertically. First, I'll draw the normal. Angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. But we know total I is equal to R and I plus R is 90. Why? The horizontal ray become vertical. That means if this is 45, this is 45, this is 45. So if the tangent is making 45 with the horizontal, that means the slope of the tangent is tan 45. But I already know slope ka formula is dy by dx. And dy by dx I already know is nothing but x power n ka differential, which is 2x. So 2x is equal to half and x is equal to half, and then you're done. Therefore, the coordinates are half, comma 1 by 4. Please check. Are you getting how the question is framed? So I taught you a simple concept of max. The slope is dy by dx. But this is how we use in physics. No one will ask you find dy by dx in physics. Clear with this? Let's see one more like this. Any doubts? Anyone is not convinced with this, please ask me. Don't hesitate, please ask. I do know you understood most of it, but there is some part which looks like what the hell is happening exactly. That is quite common. Whenever you're learning something new, when you're becoming strong, you always feel that way. If you understood everything in the class, either you're a genius or I'm bluffing you. Right? So there'll be always some part, which is like pinching you. That is actually you're thinking actually. That is still out of your little reach. That's a good thing. That will always help you to improve. But if you understood everything, that is great. Let's see a similar one. Same mirror, y is equal to x square. This is origin. This time the light ray comes like this and goes off like this. And this angle is 120 degrees. I just changed a few values there. And let's call this point Q. Find coordinates of point Q. You got the idea. Basically, draw the normal, draw the tangent, find the angle made with the tangent with the x-axis. That will give you the slope, tan theta, and slope is dy by dx, finish it off. Steps are the same. I just changed the question a bit. 90 degrees was making your life easy, 120 will make it a little hard. But the concept will remain same. Try. I hope now you're getting the importance of calculus. This is how questions will be framed. No one is going to ask you find dy by dx. That is lame. But without those basics being clear, if you try to do these kind of problems, you will go mad in 1 or 2 classes. That's the reason you should always focus on your basics should be clear. I know some of them were quite too trivial, but it's important. Try. You got 2 minutes. Any answers? We have one answer. Anyone else got that? Let's see if that is right. We have one answer by Gautam B. Let's see anyone else. You can type your answers if you did get something. Please type in the chat box here. Arush, you got something else. We have 2 different answers. 1 by 2 root 3, 1 by 12, and we have root 3 by 2 and 3 by 4. One of you is definitely wrong. You have 2 different answers. Anyone else? Try. Take your time. Don't be in a hurry. You get marks for right answers, not fast answers. Take a minute. These are good problems based on light and this thing. 1 by 2 root 3, 1 by 12. Yeah, we have. Kausambi, I think your answer is matching up with 3 more people. 1 by 2 root 3 and 1 by 12. We have 4 answers. I think that looks right. Arish, you goofed up, I guess. Check it out. See. Step 1, draw the normal. This is 60 degrees. This is 60 degrees because I is equal to R and total is this. Let's draw a tangent here. I'm not drawing it properly, but you got it. If that is 60, this is 30. So that means this is making 30 degrees. Be careful, 60 nahi hai. So tangent makes 30 degrees with horizontal. So slope of the tangent will be tan 30. But slope is nothing but dy by dx. So this is where calculus comes, dy by dx. And what is dy by dx? 2x. Therefore, x is 1 by 2 root 3. Y is nothing but x square. So that is 1 by 12. Please check your answers. And you know what is the best thing about this? It is actually not a single point. It's a 3-dimensional, right? You can hit anywhere on this circle. Any point on this circle will give you a light ray at 120 degrees. If you hit from this side, also it will bounce at 120. Isn't it? We are doing in 2-dimensional, but it is actually a 3-dimensional mirror, like a cone. So any point on that circle would have given you the answer. All the steps are clear, everyone. Any doubts, please ask me. Clear? Anyone not convinced? Great. So you guys try this and come as a homework problem. Next class, when we catch up, we're going to do more of the level 2 calculus. Like I said, we'll do that and level 3. And let's see if time permits, we'll do little applications. So we have a mirror like this. This is a y is equal to sin x ka mirror. This point is origin. This point is pi comma 0. That's your x-axis. We have a point P here whose coordinates are 2 pi by 3 comma root 3 by 2. you sent a horizontal light ray. And after hitting, this guy becomes like this. And this angle is phi. Now I'm asking reverse. Find phi. Got my question? Now it is reverse. Till now I was giving you angle and asking you coordinates. Abhi coordinates diya, main angle पूछ रहा हूँ. So try this as a homework, right? So on Wednesday when we catch up, we are going to discuss this first thing in the class, and then we'll continue from here. So first thing I want you to do in vectors, we did 31 questions, right? Take a rough sheet, each and every question, see the question and try to solve. That is how you revise the notes. No, 60 degrees नहीं अच्छा आंसर नहीं आएगा. Give it a try. ठीक है? And on vectors, right, I'll be sending you an assignment tonight. I'll send you one sheet, maybe it has around 60, 70 questions. So you can practice that. That will help you, to get a better understanding of vectors ka thing. Okay, so with that, we'll wrap up for the day. And all the lectures till last class, right? I uploaded the first 5 lectures. The last lecture also will be uploaded tomorrow. So all vectors ka lectures will be there. YouTube channel ka link that is there, keep it saved because that is a channel where, all the lectures that we are going to do will be uploaded. The recordings, what I'm sending in the group, right? They'll be only for 1 week, okay? After 1 week, they'll be deleted.